Hello everyone, it's Louisa, and in today's video I'm going to be doing the November and December editions of decluttering 24 items a month in 2024, and I'm going to give a final conclusion, final update, final thoughts on my entire decluttering 24 items a month in 2024 decluttering challenge. If you are returning a viewer or subscriber, thank you so much for coming back. I really appreciate the support. And if you're new around here, hi, my name is Louisa, and I'm just a gal that loves to incorporate her childhood loves and hobbies into her adult lifestyle. And one of those loves is organizing, decluttering, cleaning, all of that fun stuff. So if you have not heard of my decluttering 24 items a month challenge, I have an entire playlist of these videos that I've done all year long. I will have those up in the cards. Also, before I get into it, which we will, because I don't want this video to be super long, I just want to say Happy New Year! Happy 2025! This is the first YouTube video that I'm uploading to my channel in 2025, so I hope the new year is treating you guys super well. I gotta say, it's off to a great start. I have this really focused energy. I'm getting stuff done. I'm really happy with how things are going. And if this is any indication of how the rest of the year is gonna go, bring it on. So if you're new to my channel and the whole decluttering 24 items a month challenge, basically, it's just like it sounds. I made the decision back in January that I wanted to declutter 24 items a month, each month in 2024. More would be preferable, but as long as it was 24, that would be ideal. And I wanted to bring in less than 24 physical items per month. So some things purchased or decluttered that did not count towards this would be consumables. So that's like food, shampoo, conditioner, stuff like that. For bringing stuff in, I didn't count gifts. I didn't count things purchased using a gift card, and then stickers or things that I purchased to go towards my junk journal because I have a home for where those items are going. So I didn't count any of those purchases because also it would kind of have been insane if for every sticker I purchased, if I counted it as one item I brought in, because I purchased a lot of stickers last year. So we are actually going to be combining November and December, as I explained, I think, in the October update video. I was a little behind on my receipts towards the end of 2024. So I, in full disclosure, finished all my financial transactions, tracking my receipts and tracking the items that I purchased yesterday on January 2nd, 2025. So the items I picked to declutter for November and December, I may have been deciding what items I was going to declutter up until like 3 p.m. of the day that I am filming and uploading this very video, January 3rd, 2025. But I really wanted to finish this challenge, and it was on my 2024 vision board that I made at the end of June. So it was like a 6-month vision board that I wanted to declutter 144 items because that's what was remaining. Because if you take 12 times 24, that is 288 items. So I wanted to declutter 144 items because that's what was left of the year when I did my vision board. I really wanted to have another thing from my vision board last year come true. So some skeptics will say, hey, you're deciding this in 2025, but that's okay. It's my vision board. They're my dreams. They're my goals. And hey, I'm saying they're coming to fruition. I'm gonna show you guys the stuff that I decluttered for November and December, and I just combined those 2 months. I didn't do them separately, and yes, I was deciding up until today what items I was going to do. So, but this is what I decluttered for November, December. going to show you guys what I brought in for November and December. Again, I'm just combining the items. I did track that separately, so I did track in items I brought in November and brought in December, but I'm going to show you both of those months, what items I brought in now. So normally in these videos, I would talk about items, some of the items I decluttered or some of the items I brought in, but I'm not gonna do that. Instead, because I wanna share my final thoughts on this challenge. So for November and December, just to give you guys an update, the total number of items that I decluttered for November and December, again, I just combined them, was 56. I'm happy with that. That is 28 items decluttered per month. So that's 4 more than I needed to. So yay, extras, decluttering, woohoo. And then for those months, for November distinctly, I brought in 29 items, and in December, I brought in 27. So both more than 24, but I don't know. These are pretty materialistic months, November and December, so what you gonna do? And now it is time for the thrilling conclusion of this challenge, my yearly totals. So the overall goal was to declutter 24 items or more a month. So if you take 12 times 24, you get the number of 288. So I'm here to announce that the total number of items I decluttered in 2024 was 317. Woo! Yes, so we decluttered more items than 288, which is awesome. Super happy about that. Go team. And I will say, I haven't told you how many items we brought in physically, but I will say we decluttered more than we brought in. So yay, that's the ultimate dream. That was the ultimate goal, so woohoo. And then the second part of the challenge was bringing in 24 items or less physical items per month. So again, you get the same number. 12 times 24 is 288. And the total number of physical items I brought in between January and December of 2024 was, drum roll please, that's was 289. So just one over. Honestly, I'm pretty happy, even though we may not have actually like completed the second part of the overall challenge. We were close and we decluttered more than we brought in, and that was the goal. So woohoo! Now that we have those final numbers for you, I'm now going to talk about this challenge and give my final thoughts. I think there are pros and cons to everything in life, and a pro by doing a decluttering challenge this year every month was that I was never worried that I wasn't going to declutter. Like, I knew items are gonna go out. And so I knew that my closet would be updated. Part of the battle of decluttering is just even making the decision that stuff is going out. So one pro of this challenge was like, yeah, stuff is getting out and I don't have to worry about knowing that. It was just like, yeah, I will be decluttering stuff. So that was a nice pro of the challenge. Another pro of the challenge, at least for me, is that I am an analytical person. And so like the tracking and stuff is interesting to me. And I do think it was good for me to be conscious of what kind of items I was buying and things like that. And keeping track of items I was buying to resell when I had so much inventory. I think that was really good for me, and really opened my eyes to what I was purchasing. So I think that that's a good pro, especially if you're a more impulsive spender. I think that this challenge is good for tracking your spending if you want to do that component of it. And now we're gonna go to the cons. I'm gonna be dead honest. I am over this challenge. Hence by me finishing up everything for it on January 3rd of 2025. There are definite pros to it, do not get me wrong, but as someone who was behind in their receipt keeping, it just delayed when I needed to declutter, and then it was more items that piled up. So like, yeah, for November and December, it's like, okay, it's not, I have to declutter 24 items, it's I have to declutter 48. And so it's a snowball effect. And also it was tedious. I do think it was very interesting to track, and I can think something is interesting while also finding it tedious. My family and people kind of make fun of me because my receipt keeping or my tracking of my finances takes a while. The process takes a while. And part of the reason the process took a lot was because I was physically writing down what I was bringing in, what I was decluttering, as opposed to writing the transaction. Instead, I was writing about individual items I was purchasing. I do think that the challenge contributed to that being slower. It probably would have been fine if I was just right on top of my finances, which is a goal that I have for 2025. I want to be on top of that and my receipt keeping. And even this last part of the year, when I was like 2 months behind, a month and a half behind on my receipts, it's not as bad. There was one year where I was 4 months behind in receipts, but I still finished out the year with my tracking system. So I did eventually get it done, so that's good. And there was also just this aspect of, in a way, I do think it's good to be like, I'm getting rid of this much stuff, but at the same time, having a set number, like, it kind of means you are looking around for stuff to declutter. And I think that kind of defeats the purpose, as if, I don't know, I'm lucky because I had stuff to declutter. I'm very privileged. I have a lot of stuff and physical items, so I think it was good in that sense. For someone that's not trying to be on a minimalism journey, I think just being like, all right, here's a number. Because what if you're like, you know what, I only have 13 things I'm willing to declutter this month. Luckily, I never had a month that was like that, unless I think it was October where I decluttered less than 24 items, and that was because I was just like, I want to get the video up and move on. So yeah, I think there are definite pros and cons to it, and I'm curious how you guys liked this challenge. Leave a comment down below if you enjoyed keeping up with my progress, and if it's a challenge you think you could do or you think is manageable. I would be curious to know. But as of right now, I do not have a decluttering goal or challenge scheduled for 2025. If I feel the need to clean up my area, which I do, because a goal on my goals for the year for the past few years has been to have a consistently clean space, and that has not happened. So I want to work on that. And as I'm working on that goal this year, you know, if I come across something or I'm cleaning an area in my room and I want to declutter stuff, that's totally fine. But I'm not giving myself a mandate of I need to declutter this many items, because then I think it kind of defeats the purpose and it's just not as genuine, you know? At least in my eyes. And my goal for my YouTube channel is to be as authentic as possible. So, yeah. But that's all I have to say. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you watched any of my decluttering 24 items a month in 2024 video series, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed hearing the final totals for this challenge. And if you want more of me, you can find me on Instagram at louisa.ruby, and for the time being on TikTok at WheezeQueen3. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all again soon with a brand new video. Bye!